Welcome to Wrldwire, the podcast that takes you beyond the headlines to explore the forces truly shaping our world today. We bring you thoughtful, in-depth analysis on global issues, from shifting power dynamics to economic alliances and everything in between.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving deep into something pretty huge, BRICS.
BRICS?
Not just what it is,
Right.
but what it could actually mean for all of us
Yeah.
down the road. And we've got this super insightful article from Wrldwire
Oh, cool.
called BRICS versus the West. Is the Global South taking over?
Wow.
So get ready, because we're going to be exploring a world where the entire balance of power is shifting.
Yeah, what's really interesting about BRICS is how it's gone from you see the acronym, you think, oh, it's just an economic concept,
Right.
to a potential geopolitical force. It's really not just letters anymore. It's like a bluff challenging kind of the way things have always been. The world order.
And it's huge.
It is.
BRICS is massive. We're talking over 40% of the world's population
Wow.
and 25% of global GDP. That's people.
Yeah.
That's money.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to think that this was just a concept back in 2001.
Right. And now they've got summits. They're making moves.
Looks like they've formalized. They've got their own little club going on.
Yeah.
And it is signifying a potential shift to multipolarity.
Multipolar.
Which is a world where power isn't just in one place,
Right.
It's spread out.
Not just the West.
Yeah, not just the West. And think about what that means for trade,
Yeah.
for international relations, how countries get along, maybe even your own personal investments,
It makes things a lot more complicated.
It does.
So let's actually break it down. We've got Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, big players.
Huge.
Let's start with China. I mean, they're
Powerhouse,
right? Manufacturing, tech. Some people are even saying they're going to overtake the U.S. economy.
I mean, it's on track. And then you got India, it's like a giant. It's waking up.
Yeah.
And they've got this young workforce.
Yeah.
All these young people. And their IT sector, that's booming. I mean, projections are saying by 2030, they could be the third largest economy in the world.
That's wild. And then you've got Brazil.
Resources galore.
It's like they're sitting on a treasure chest of natural resources. They export so much, from coffee, soybeans. We were talking about iron ore. That's in our buildings. That's in our bridges.
That's the stuff that makes the world go round.
Then there's Russia. We can't forget about them.
No, they've got the energy.
Energy reserves. They're major players in oil and gas. That gives them a lot of power.
Leverage, yeah. Even with everything that's been going on.
And last but not least, we've got South Africa.
The gateway to Africa.
Yeah. And when we're talking about the future,
Yeah.
we're talking about rapid development, untapped potential.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just add all of that together, the market size,
Yeah.
the potential growth of BRICS.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't deny it, right? It's reshaping how the world,
Game.
the whole game.
Yeah.
It's the whole game. The question is, can Western economies keep up?
Well, and that brings us to, I think, what's really fascinating.
Where's that?
They're not just playing the same game, they're writing new rules.
Oh, yeah.
Like this new development bank.
The NDB.
It's their alternative to the World Bank,
Right.
the IMF. And
Yeah.
they're not just, throwing money around.
Yeah.
They've got $100 billion ready to fund infrastructure in developing nations.
And it's targeted. It's for specific needs and challenges, things that have been kind of overlooked
Yeah.
by the traditional institutions.
Yeah.
It could be more sustainable projects. It could be more fair lending practices.
Right.
It could even be new opportunities for investors who are thinking outside the box, beyond the usual.
It's a different way of looking at things.
It is.
And then there's this whole thing about de-dollarization.
De-dollarization, yeah.
What does that even mean for the average person?
So it's basically trying to not use the U.S. dollar so much
Okay.
in trade and finance. So it could be hey, let's trade with our own currencies directly.
Cut out the middleman.
Yeah, cut out the middleman.
Yeah.
Maybe create new reserve currencies, or even use completely different financial systems, like China and Brazil.
Oh, yeah.
They're trading with their own currencies already.
So that's a big change.
A big move. I mean,
Yeah.
the dollar, everybody uses it, It's everywhere.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really ingrained in the system.
Yeah.
So to shift away from that,
Yeah.
it'd be huge. It would take a ton of effort. It's not just about having different money. It's about trusting that money and getting other countries to use it too.
So what are the chances they can pull it off?
It's hard to say. I mean, it's
Right.
early.
Yeah.
But if they did, it would change like international finance. It could even, affect the value of the dollar that we all use.
And they're not just, staying the same. They're growing,
Expanding, yeah.
bringing in new players, Saudi Arabia, UAE. Those are,
Oil giants.
yeah, and with a ton of money.
Yeah, ton of money. And then Iran joins the mix.
Yeah.
That adds a lot geopolitically, especially in the Middle East. It's a power move for sure.
And then we've got Egypt and Ethiopia.
Solidifying that presence in Africa.
It's like they're forming.
It's a bloc. It's like a counter bloc.
Yeah. And it's more than just trade at this point.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they're creating alliances. They're offering an alternative to like the Western-led groups.
NATO.
Yeah, NATO, G7, all
Yeah.
that. It's making things a lot more complicated
Complicated.
on the geopolitical chessboard.
It's almost like they're creating their own system.
Yeah.
Like a whole BRICS-centric world order.
Mm.
But the article also talked about how they face some
Yeah.
pretty big challenges.
Yeah.
And one of those is internal divisions. What does that mean?
So even though they have like shared goals, they all have their own interests.
Okay.
And sometimes those interests, they clash. Like China and India.
Yeah.
They're both powerhouses, right?
Yeah.
But they've also got this rivalry. They compete for everything.
Yeah.
And then they've got these border disputes.
Yeah.
Things haven't been totally settled.
Right, right.
And it creates tension.
So how do they even work together?
Yeah.
They're always kind of,
It's a challenge.
yeah.
It's one of the biggest ones for BRICS.
Yeah.
If they want to be this like united front and
Yeah.
really challenge things,
Mhm.
they've got to figure out how to manage those disagreements
Yeah.
and work together.
It's like herding cats. Everyone wants to go their own way.
A little bit, yeah.
And then you've got the economic disparity.
Right.
How do you balance like the economic power of China
Yeah.
with, South Africa, which has a much smaller economy?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, that difference.
Yeah.
It could make things unbalanced, when they're making decisions.
Right.
Some might feel like they don't have a voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
If the smaller economies are kind of getting talked over, then that creates resentment.
Resentment. Yeah.
And that breaks down the group. So
Yeah.
they've got to figure out how to make sure everyone participates and benefits.
Fairly.
Yeah, fairly, if they want it to work long term.
And even if they can like get over those hurdles,
Yeah.
they still have the US dollar.
Right.
Which is like the king.
The big one. Yeah, it's so deeply rooted in everything, in trade, in reserves.
Yeah.
It's the go-to. So to move away from that,
Yeah.
it's massive. You have to not only make new currencies, but people have to trust them,
Right.
and countries have to start using them.
That seems like a long shot.
It's a big undertaking.
Yeah.
And the article also mentioned some criticisms of them expanding.
Oh, yeah.
Like some people think they're becoming too, like, anti-West.
Anti-West.
Yeah, and that could hurt them.
Okay.
It's important to remember that at first, BRICS was all about, like, working together economically
Yeah.
and having a multipolar world, not like being against the West.
Right.
But when they bring in members like Iran,
Who have a complicated
relationship with the West, it
Mhm.
makes people think, are they ganging up?
Right.
And if they're seen as, like, the enemy of the West,
Mhm.
then other countries might not want to join them.
Right. Yeah.
And it could even make things worse between, like, everyone.
So it's kind of a delicate.
It's a balance.
Yeah. And another criticism that stood out was that, unlike the EU, BRICS doesn't really have a structure.
Yeah, they don't have a shared, like, political or economic framework. Which, I mean, how do you make decisions? How do you do things together
Right.
if you don't have a system?
They're kind of making it up as they go along.
Yeah, it's uncharted territory.
So a lot of potential.
A lot of potential.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like they were at a crossroads.
Yeah.
Which kind of brings us to the big question.
The big question.
Why should our listener
Yeah.
care about BRICS? This is happening, across the world.
Right. But the truth is, this whole BRICS thing, it could affect everyone.
Yeah, I mean, whether we realize it or not, like, we're all involved in how the world is changing.
So even if they make things more balanced, more fair,
Yeah.
there's going to be consequences.
They will be.
Mhm.
Think about it. If BRICS currencies get stronger,
Okay.
what happens to, people's savings, their investments?
Mhm.
If trade routes change, what happens to the stuff we buy? Does it get more expensive? Can we even get it?
Right, right.
And jobs. I mean, jobs could move depending on where the power is.
So this is hitting home.
It is.
This isn't just some political game.
Yeah.
It's our wallets, it's the stores, it's our jobs.
It's real.
Yeah.
That's why we need to understand what's happening globally.
Yeah.
It's not just like an idea. It's real life.
So how can our listeners stay ahead of the curve?
Well, I think the key is to connect these global things
Uh-huh.
to our own lives. Watch what happens within BRICS. Can they get along,
Okay.
or are they going to fall apart?
So signs of unity or like cracks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And watch what happens with this de-dollarization. Is it actually working? Are we seeing less U.S. dollars in trade? Because if that takes off, it could change everything in the economy.
And what about how the West reacts to BRICS? I mean, this is a big deal.
Yeah. Will they work together? Or will things get, tense, more competitive?
Like a standoff.
Yeah, and that could be a problem for everyone. Like, it could destabilize things.
If things escalate, it could be like a new Cold War.
Yeah, but with different players.
Totally. So beyond like the politics of it all,
Right.
what can our listener actually do
Yeah.
to be ready for a BRICS-influenced world?
Well, one thing is to diversify. Don't put all your money in one place.
Okay.
Spread it out. Consider BRICS economies. Don't assume the old ways are going to work forever.
Be open to new things.
Be open to new things and keep up with what BRICS is doing.
Okay.
Their policies, their actions. Think about how that affects your job, your industry,
Right.
even your daily life.
So connect the global to the personal.
Yeah, because it's all connected. What happens over there
Yeah.
affects us over here.
We're not isolated.
We're not. I think that's one of the most interesting things about this whole BRICS thing.
Yeah.
This idea of a multipolar world.
Multiple.
It's something they talk about a lot, but it could really change how we see power in the world.
Because for so long, it's been the West deciding things.
It has. So what happens when others have power, too?
Yeah. How does that change the game?
That's a question we're all going to have to figure out.
Yeah.
Something for our listener to think about.
To ponder.
Yeah. Because in a world like that, the old rules,
Don't apply.
they don't apply. It's a new reality.
It's kind of exciting
Yeah.
and kind of scary.
It is. But that's what makes it so interesting.
Yeah.
This BRICS thing. It's not just about these countries. It's about how the whole world
Could change.
could change.
So we have to be ready to adapt.
We do.
Who knows? Maybe this is like the start of a new era
It could be.
where things are more balanced.
Yeah.
And the global South
Yeah.
actually has a say.
It's a future worth thinking about. A future where, countries work together instead of trying to, dominate each other.
So we've talked about their economic power,
We have.
their strategies, the challenges,
Uh-huh.
and how it could affect all of us.
Yeah.
But here's a final thought.
Imagine a world where the global South has an equal voice, where things are decided through collaboration, not force.
Wow.
Is it the world BRICS is making? I mean, we'll have to see,
We'll have to see.
but it's worth considering.
Yeah, it really makes you think about how much is changing
It does.
and how things that seem so far away can actually hit so close to home.
Absolutely.
It's almost like, BRICS is this big wave out there, and
Yeah.
we're all trying to figure out if it's going to be a gentle wave
Mhm.
or a
Yeah.
tsunami.
I think that's a great analogy. And what's important is that we approach this with curiosity,
Yeah.
Be open-minded.
Yeah, don't just take the headlines
Right.
at face value.
Go deeper.
Be critical.
Yeah. Think for yourself. Don't just absorb what you hear.
Challenge the assumptions.
Challenge the assumptions.
Ask the hard questions.
Yes.
It's almost like we're all becoming global citizens now.
We are, whether we want to be or not.
Are all connected.
Yeah, we're part of this big web. And what BRICS does,
Yeah.
it will ripple out. It'll touch everyone.
So we got to understand what they're doing
We do.
and why.
And what it could mean.
Yeah, we've got to be informed.
Engaged.
Active.
Proactive, yeah. We're not just bystanders.
We're not.
We have a role in this.
We do.
And how the world changes.
And who knows, maybe by understanding all of this,
Right.
we can even find new opportunities
Yeah, absolutely.
in our careers, our investments, even just in how we see the world.
I think that's key. It's about embracing the fact that things are complex
Yeah.
and that change is going to happen.
It's happening.
So instead of being scared,
Right.
let's be curious
Curious.
and let's learn, because that's how we figure this out.
Yeah, and that's how we create a future that works for everyone.
Absolutely.
Well, that's a great point to wrap things up on.
It is.
It's been a fascinating deep dive. I
Yeah.
feel like we've really uncovered
Yeah.
a lot about BRICS.
We have.
So thanks for guiding us through it.
It's been a pleasure. I love talking about this stuff.
And to our listener, keep exploring, keep asking those questions.
Diving.
And until next time, keep on diving.
No, by
Thanks for tuning in to Wrldwire. We hope today's episode gave you new insights and a fresh perspective on global events. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe and share. Help us reach more listeners who care about unbiased, in-depth analysis. At Wrldwire, we believe in looking beyond the headlines. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep questioning the world around you.